I'm alive, and you're alive too. Hello, everyone. Cindy, good morning. It is a beautiful day. Shannon, good morning. Sharon, good morning. Susan, good morning. From Temple. Okay. I think that I remember. Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you? So excited. We'll give people a couple of minutes to arrive. So this is the 8th week of this session. I teach in 8-week sessions, and then I take a whole week off because I need that. And I know many of you come to almost every single session in 8 weeks, but some don't because life happens. Well, for me, I make sure my life is my schedule. And very rarely do I take off. Even in the 7 years of teaching for Torrance Memorial Hospital in Southern California, I barely missed any of my classes. And I did miss when I had my surgeries, my first hip surgery, and then my hip replacement. I took 2 weeks off, and I came back after 2 weeks and I taught 10 classes 2 weeks after my total hip replacement. Now, I did sit down a lot and sat on my tushy on the floor because that was easy. And what happened is I learned how to cue and to guide people to find in their bodies what it is that I was trying to get them to find. So it actually was a blessing in disguise. And I have a lot of body awareness, and I teach body awareness to you because I think it's one of the most valuable ways to keep yourself strong and healthy and age as strong and as I guess strong and healthy are the words that I use often because that seems to be really what it is. That kind of encompasses so much. And that's our goal, is we want to live a full life and travel and bend down and play with our grandkids. And we need to have the body that lets us do that. So you showing up here today, pat yourself on the back. This is the opportunity for you to do that, is to keep that range of motion, that flexibility, and that strength in your body so that you can live the life you want. That's why you're here. Take that with you to the mat when we practice. And I will go over there in a second. Let me see if anyone else is here. Stevie, good morning. Lynn, good morning. And Jeannie, hello. Lynn, ooh, good. Let me see. Lynn, my neck and upper back are still an issue. Okay. Carol, good morning. Deborah, or Debbie, actually. Good morning. Thank you for being so positive. Thank you for saying that. And I'd like to, let me go back there. I'm going to go back there now. So I'd like to address that, Debbie. All right. So I just read the comment that Debbie said. She said, thank you for being so positive. And I do hear that often from people. And this is what I'm going to tell you, is that I understand that we have a choice in the way that we think. And what gets us to be more of an optimist and see the glass is half full is to have the awareness to the choice that we have, the choice to react to situations, the choice to accept what we're being told and own it and become it. And I'll say in terms of a diagnosis of osteoporosis or any other diagnosis, or to look for what can we do about what it is that we're being told or the situation we're in. And there's something that I always tell people, this is the way that I look at life, is if you see a string of ants, if you watch them, they walk in a straight line or close to that, and they have a task or a job, they're programmed to do their job. And if there's a disruption, if you put your finger there or do something, they start to go crazy and scurry about. And so I look at us as that. I look at it that we're here in this game of life, in this lifetime, and we're experiencing it as it is, and then we choose how we want to participate. Do you want to watch the news and get sad and feel scared and feel hopeless and think that watching the news means you are an active participant? Because what can you do about most of the things you watch? And I was walking with my girlfriend today, and she said, "Oh, you know about that situation with this in this city?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't watch the news, so I don't know anything about it." And maybe people would be like, "Oh my God, you're so ill-informed." But I will tell you that last week you were worrying about something, and 6 months ago you were worrying about something, and 1 year you were worrying about something that actually has an effect on your physical body and your emotional body that is over, and you probably actually weren't able to do anything about the thing you worried about. So it's not that I'm Pollyanna. It's not that I put my head in the sand. I learn about what I need to learn about, but I want to have this life be as the best it can be for me. So I try not to attach to the things that weigh me down. And even, my kids, my family, when they're going through struggles, I'm compassionate about their struggles. I'll offer help if I can give help. And then I realize that it's their journey and it's their issues. So I do think that we could be positive and be happy. And I think that there's a lot of choices we have in this life that we could take that help us be that way. And there's a lot of choices that can go down the other path. So that's my perspective. That's how I live my life. And then I also feel that we attract the energy that we are living. So I think that I attract more positive and good things because that's where I choose to vibrate and resonate and not get caught up in the other stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if that helps. I do visualize challenges in my life as anchors, and I take out my invisible scissors and I will intentionally cut the anchors on the things that weigh me down. I'll let them go and I'll not worry about them. And you know what's really amazing? I have learned in this process of the life that I'm choosing to live that so often the thing that I was worried about or thought I needed to be doesn't even happen. Like maybe somebody cancels something that I was dreading or fretting that I was going to, or maybe that diagnosis, the markers on my labs were better than I worried that they would be. And so it really is powerful because I think that things are usually not as bad as we think they're going to be. We catastrophize and our negative mind takes over. So I guess this is a way to actually manage the negative mind. And so hopefully that helps because that negative mind and all that stuff actually affects bone health because physiological stress is a contributor to bone density loss. So the way we think and the way we show up in life has a huge effect on our health and in this case, our bone health. All right. So this is the last class of this week, this session, this 8-week session, and therefore I would like to really put a lot of poses in today's practice, a lot of postures in your body. So we'll do some warm up, not as much as I usually do. We'll get right into what we need to do. And so for today's practice, you will need a strap, you will need a block, and you will need a blanket. I also hope to be an example of what it is that I share. So I'm not just saying this to say it. I choose positive and happy. Therefore, I do have a more positive outlook and feel less stressed. And I do work on keeping my body strong and limber and mobile so that I can bend down to pick things up off the ground. I can garden and bend down to look at my new dahlias and say thank you to them for showing up for me. I can bend really low to smell my roses because I cut all my roses back, and when they start to grow back, they're shorter at first with that first bloom. And so if you want to smell them, you need to squat deeply to smell them. And I want to smell the roses. All right. We're going to use the blanket to start to open up our chest because we'll begin on the floor today and do the postures on the floor that stimulate and strengthen postural muscles, muscles of alignment, and the muscles that stabilize the joint to keep you in better alignment, to keep the minerals in your bones. And so we're going to use the blanket for that. Let's take your blanket and you're going to roll your blanket up. The tighter you roll your blanket, the bigger the roll will be, the deeper the stretch will be. So this is where you decide what's best for you. So roll your blanket. And for many of you, you're going to need another blanket across the top, or if you have a long blanket that I do, you'll be able to fold it. And then the other thing that's really important for me is that let's come to a position where we can close our eyes and set an intention. Okay, so sit in whatever position you can. If you could still bend your knees, bend them. And if you can't, sit in a crisscross position or in a chair. Coming with the eyes closed. I want you to accept wherever you are in your body today. Not at this point in your life, but today at this moment right now. The level of hydration, the level of mobility you showed up to the practice today, which is going to put synovial fluid in your joints. Maybe you have a lot, maybe you don't. Maybe you hurt yourself yesterday. Maybe you're experiencing some issues in your tissues. Whatever you're coming to the mat with today, it's with complete and utter acceptance of this is me today. And you're going to explore whatever the range of motion is you have, whatever your abilities are, and you're going to be okay with that. Because everything you do creates strength, flexibility. It's going to maintain the range of motion, which is so important. There's going to be secretion of fluids. There's going to be an unobstruction of tissue so that your nervous system can communicate to hold you in a posturally aligned position, to help communicate where your body position is so that the muscles can turn on to help you balance. Whatever you do today is perfect and enough. So to yourself, I want you to say, I am enough. And whatever I do is enough. Whatever I do is perfect. And right now, I'm going to strengthen my muscles and my bones. Take your hands, rub your hands together. Cover your eyes. Feel that in your body, the words that you said to yourself. And then go ahead and open your eyes. It's all true. Anything you do is good and perfect. And especially those of you that have issues, and then also for those of you that are dynamos that try to barrel through life, you know who you are, the type A's, the I'm going to do it, I'm going to be strong forever, the ones that injure themselves because they try too much and too hard. All right, Tushy is on the floor. Tushy, I want you to rock on your tushy. I want you to feel those buttock bones. That's your pelvis. We're going to pull on it. We're going to do a lot to that today to create stimulation. So get ready, pelvis. And then the blanket is behind your spine. I want you to come on to the side. Reach your hand away to keep your back from rounding because that's going to contribute to more bone density loss and potential pressure on the vertebra that can eventually become fractures. Learning, always learning. Keep your knees bent. The feet are wider than the body, and the knees are going to fall in towards each other to be supportive. And then lift up your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Whatever you do here, find in your body whatever feels right for your head. So for some of you, you may need to fold the blanket or have something else to go underneath your head. And please don't make it be too high. We're not going for comfort spa. We're going for, I can handle this little support behind my head, because I want you to start opening up some of the postural muscles and the front of the vertebra and the chest and the throat. And then you're going to take your arms out to the side. Begin with straight arms and be as far away from yourself as you can so that the backs of the hands are on the floor and the upper arm bone is off. And then lower your shoulders. Push your shoulders down away from your ears. Push them. You may feel the muscles activate when you do this. And then let's take the hands that are on the floor and the nails. Keep all your fingernails on the floor and the backs of the hands on the floor. And begin to slide your hands closer to your head If you could get to a point where your wrist is right above the elbow, stop there. And if you can't get that far, that's okay. You get to wherever you get to. It's your journey. This is your body. Your range of motion in your joints is what will determine where you could go, and it's perfect as it is. And if you want it to be more, then show up and practice with me as often as you can. And every day, move more so you can gain more. Let your arms be heavy. Let the left arm push it into the floor, and then push the right arm into the floor. So hopefully you feel some kind of stretch in your chest, your shoulders. For those of you that experience upper back and neck tension, sometimes it comes from holding the head forward. And especially if you've been looking down a lot, whether that's to cook, to read, to knit, to crochet, to quilt, to garden, many wonderful activities that we do in our lives. So it's not a bad action. We just need a counterbalance, and this is your counterbalance to that. Life is about balance. And I call it bioharmonizing, to find peace. So let's get the breath to help us here as well. So bring your awareness first to your body where you notice tension and stress, and let go. Let's direct a couple of breaths to wherever the tension is. So as you inhale, you notice or find a place of tension, and let your exhale go right to that place of tension, as if you were gently blowing on a dandelion, to make a wish. So blow your exhale through your nose, and your visual takes it to the place where there's tension, and you blow away the tension. There may actually be a couple of places that you do that. You inhale, your eyeballs turn inward, down and back, maybe to where your arms attach to your body, maybe behind your neck. And you exhale as if you're blowing towards that area, blowing relaxation, blowing away the tension, and let it release like a dandelion, where each little dandelion piece blows away in the wind. Bring your awareness to your mouth. Release the tension from the jaw. Maybe a little wiggle side to side. Subconscious worry and stress and fear can cause our jaw to clench in response to the perception of fear. So soften your jaw and really feel it happen. Bring your awareness to your facial muscles. Soften. Feel them moving towards the floor. And then bring your awareness to your eyes. Let your eyes soften. And then bring your awareness to your head. Think about a big bag of sugar or flour. It's about 5 pounds, the 5-pound bag of sugar or flour. The average head is 10 pounds, 2 bags of flour and sugar. 2 things that we actually should be releasing from our diets. Flour and sugar. So let's release 10 pounds of weight, which is your head, to whatever it's resting on. Let your exhale release it. Let go, let go. See if you could feel a release in your upper back and neck when you do that. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. I'd like you to take 5 deep breaths down to your chest, as deep as you can, so that you expand your chest upward, backward, sideways, down to your feet and up to your head all at once, fully expanding your lungs in their maximum range of motion. And let your lungs start to move your spine. Start to deeply stretch your muscles from the deepest inside part of you. 5 breaths. Count them. Follow them in. And follow them out. Stay with your breath. Give your breath back to your body to breathe itself. It's what it does for you all the time. You just took over for a little while. Bring your awareness to your hands as you wiggle your hands. Awareness to your feet, your toes. Let your knees point up towards the sky, and let's explore taking the legs straight. If you come into a straight position, your body says, I don't like this, go back to bent knees. If you're in a straight-legged position, point your toes, and everyone take your arms overhead as far as your shoulders will let them go, and be okay with whatever it is. Maybe you're like a letter Y, and your arms are out to the side because your shoulders don't like to rise up. Or maybe you're straight out because you're nursing a shoulder injury and you're taking care of your shoulder. Whatever you do, stretch your tissue. I want you to feel stretching somewhere that feels appropriate. That's how we get better balance, receptivity in our body. That's how we get our fluids to flow freely. And that's how we get space in our joints. So we can reduce inflammation and pain and arthritis and bone tissue leaving the bones to come down and lay down deposits in our joints because they're tight and arthritic. Let's take your head, take your arms back to the side, let your head go side to side, releasing tension. Now, because we have this rolled up blanket, you're able to get a little farther here with this cervical spine rotation. Many people experience nerve impingement in the neck, and they feel burning, tingling, shooting pains down to the fingers or the wrist or the lower arm. So let's move that neck through rotation and start to soften and loosen the openings that the nerves need to come out to go down to your fingers. increasing your range of motion. Bring yourself back to center. Go ahead, bend your knees. Let's roll onto the side, coming off your prop. Take your hand. You're going to strengthen your body here, keeping your upper body nice and strong by pushing away from the floor and not letting your head lift you up. So let your head be heavy. Push, push, push. Maybe the elbow helps, maybe the hand helps, whatever it is perfect and good. I say that because I work with so many people that tell me what they can't do. I can't bend my knees. I have a pain here. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. So this is a moment to think of all the cans, letting go of all the cans. Put your blanket at the top of your head. Make sure you have a block and a strap handy to come down onto the floor, keeping your back nice and flat. Reach your hand away from you. I'd like to also say that range of motion is really important for health and happiness and to be pain-free. So when we move as far as you can in your joints. Let your body tell you what's appropriate. Come to a wide leg, feet off the mat distance. Take your hands out to the side. And let's begin with our windshield wiper. So go slow at first because this is the first real movement that comes into that lower back. And with the stretch that we just did, we stretched that thoracic spine and did some cervical spine movement. Now I'd like you to get that lower lumbar spine involved here. And because the tushy cheek leaves the floor, you're tilting your pelvis, you're actually bringing rotation into the low back. So make sure it feels appropriate for you. We're turning on the faucets in your joints. When you do motion is lotion. So this is lubricating. When you come to the left, stay at the left, let your legs go. Reach the right hand away from the floor, not too high. Flex the wrist and reach that right hand away from you to stretch your right side and feel the right side stretch. Try to create as much stretch as you can by flexing the wrist, reaching the heel of the hand away, and pushing the big toe edge of the right foot into the floor so you can reach the right kneecap away from you even more. Take one more breath and then bring yourself back up to center. Let your legs go over to the right. Once they arrive, activate that left hand, flex the left wrist, push the left big toe edge of the foot in the floor and stretch the left leg so the left knee is stretching away from you. Feel the biggest stretch you can. Feel how good that feels. If the low back doesn't like this, minimize that extension by pushing the belly strongly towards the spine to help protect your low back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do a little core tutorial and pelvic floor tutorial because you need the core and the pelvic floor to help support everything that we do, all the postures. The pelvic floor is the base of your core. It's right where your legs attach to your body. It's a hammock from side to side and a hammock from front to back. I'd like you to visualize a strand of pearls, let's say 5 big, beautiful pink pearls from the bottom to your belly button that are resting on top of your spine. So it's in the deepest part of your body. I'd like you to bring your awareness to draw towards center to hold on to the very first pearl. So you'll feel a contraction like a fist deep inside your body. Hold on to that first pearl and now draw straight up to the next pearl and make a real strong contraction. And then up to the next pearl, maybe the low back starts to push towards the floor with all of this effort and the pelvis starts to rock backwards. And then pull up to the next pearl and then all the way up to the belly. So you're drawing in and up the midline. Hold on really tight. In and lift. And then release. This time let the anal sphincter and the urethra or the ureter sphincter be a part of this. So where you urinate, where you poop, and the center of your body really contract strongly. We're going to do this on the exhalation. We're going to hold as long as we can. Let's take an inhale. Now exhale. Contract anal sphincter, where you urinate,
And draw up your strand of pearls on your exhale as long as you can. And then take a deep inhale, let everything go. Take a deep exhale. And one more time, contract and lift. And then let go. Take your hands behind your head. You're either, for the core, I want you to think about a zipper, which the beginning is that contraction of the pelvic floor. So think of a zipper where everything would draw inward and upward, or a sea anemone that you touch at the beach that closes inward and down. So think of that. Let's do some core. Take your hands behind your head, block is between your knees. Squeeze the block and then press the low back towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch, could be the top edge of the pelvis it touches. Inhale. As you exhale, begin to engage the pelvic floor and then start to zipper up your body, lift your upper body off the floor. Let the elbows stay out at the side, flatten the low back into the floor. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, contract as much as you can, lift up, keep your elbows out, tip of your nose is up towards the sky, and then inhale to lower. One more, deep contraction. Exhale, deeply contract, stay here, stay here. Sip the breath in towards your heart. Exhale, contract even deeper. Keep your elbows out the side, your nose up towards the sky. Inhale to your heart. Contract again. Anal sphincter, urethra. Zipper up. Inhale to lower. Take the block out to the side. Draw one knee in. Let's unbend and bend the leg. Take your knee, hold your knee, take that leg out to the side, feel the inner thigh stretch. Let's do the same thing with the other side. So we're warming up our hip, we're warming up our hamstring, we're warming up our adductors, all the things we're going to be pulling on right now, bringing moisture to that area so that when we work it, we don't injure. Take your knee out to the side. It's better to actually warm up the area you're going to be stimulating so that you can make sure it's hydrated, whether that's water, synovial fluid, blood, lymph, whatever. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do the leg stretches first. Let's take the strap on the right foot. So bring the right foot up, take the strap around the right foot. I'd like you to be as strong as you can. We hold for 30 seconds. Of course, if you need to come out, but try to do the strongest work you can. We're pulling on the pelvis and strengthening the pelvis. If you could take the left leg straight, go ahead and do that. Slide your hands down the strap, wrap your hands around the strap, pull the strap down so the leg is firmly in the socket and you feel that right buttock pressing towards the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, firm up your leg and push your leg away with the muscles and at the same time draw it towards the wall behind you. Feel as much tension as you can handle behind your leg. The key here, no bend in the knees. Make sure your knee is not bent. If your knee is bent, move your leg away from you so that your leg can go straight, so that we're pulling on the beginning of this muscle group and not the middle. We're not stretching the middle of the muscle. We're pulling on where it attaches to the pelvis. That's important. And then go ahead and release. Let's do the adductor inner thigh stretch. Take that strap in the right hand, slide your hand down, wrap your hand around the strap and keep the leg high. Push the left leg into the floor if that leg is straight. You're going to inhale, firm up the muscles of the leg, push the leg away from you and lengthen out to the side. As far as you could go, put your arm on the floor to help support the weight of your leg. Stay here. Push into the arch part of the strap. Feel that stretch up the center of the leg, the inner thigh. Again, pulling on the pelvis here. Push the leg away from you and pull it towards the wall at the same time. So create as much tension as you can in your leg. And try to keep that left hip and left buttock on the floor. And then go ahead and release. Let's bring the left foot up into the strap. Take the strap in the left hand, slide your hand down the strap, wrap your hand around, and the goal here is to pull on the pelvis as much as you can to create as much bone building stimulation as you can. Stronger you go, the more stimulation you create. Bones are strong substances, so we want to pull and push on them as hard as our body will let us, and as safe as our body will let us. Straighten that right leg if that works for your body. Pull the strap down to really embed that hip deep in the joint, and take an inhale. As you exhale, firm up that leg, push it away from you, and at the same time, opposing force to pull it towards the wall behind you. Feel that left buttock in the floor really nice and strong. And you're pushing the top of that left leg away with the big muscles, the quadriceps. You're pushing the leg bone away from you and pulling it towards the wall behind you. Keep that knee straight. That's the most important thing when we're doing the osteoporosis version of this posture, is to keep the knee straight so you're pulling on the beginning of the muscle group. One more breath. And then let the tension leave. You're going to come to hold on to the strap in the left hand. Right leg is straight if you'd like. And then pull the strap down into the socket. Push that leg away from you, nice and firm, and pull it towards the wall behind you as you lengthen out to the side, as far as your body will let you go. Push into the arch part of the strap. Draw that leg up towards the wall behind you and really push that right buttock into the floor. Feel that deep stretch on the adductor muscles pulling on the pelvis. And then go ahead and release, bring yourself out of that. Let's take our strap. We're going to come into our bridge pose. I'd like to do this with a strap. So bring the knees in. You could loop your strap if you'd like, or you could, oh, mine's already tied. You could tie your strap. So mine is tied for those that don't have a strap that loops. And you want your legs to be about the distance of the block. So you don't want them to be touching. You want there to be space there. And you'll see that you're going to get higher here in your bridge posture. Now the bridge posture, the intention is to bring extension into the body. So we want to back bend our spine. You want the shoulder blades to slide towards each other and help to lift the chest up. The upper heart goes up and towards your face. So get as much of a bend, like think about a bridge. You want to be the back side of the bridge. You want your spine to be that. And we want the muscles, we want to push away from the floor as much as we can with the arms and the legs. Move the blanket away from the back of the head. Lengthen the back of the neck. Tuck the chin down towards the chest. Feel the center of the head supported on the floor. And then you're going to walk your feet closer towards your body. Now bend your arms and keep your fingers open. Push your arms into the floor. Lift your upper body up and slide the shoulder blades towards each other. And if the head moved, rearrange the head. Now push the feet into the floor so you feel all parts of the foot, all 5 toes, the whole entire back heel, and the inner edge of the heel. Keep your arms bent, palms face each other, fingers are up. Begin by flattening the low back into the floor, pointing the tailbone up towards the sky, and then begin to peel your spine away from the floor. Keep your eyes closed. Do not look side to side. Close your eyes. No looking, no peeking, only feeling. Feel this happen into your body. So dig your arms and elbows into the floor. Slide your shoulders closer towards the spine if you can. Use those shoulder blades to really push the heart up towards the chin or the nose. Pushing out on that strap. Lengthen the knees away from you and lift the pelvis as high as you can. Push your feet into the floor. For those of you that could clasp, you could reach down and clasp your hands together, pushing your hands into the floor to lift even higher. Push those shoulder blades in towards your heart. Lift up. Close your eyes and feel the strength at the back of your body. Stretching the front of the vertebra, taking that pressure off the front of the vertebra where half of all the fractures and osteoporosis occur. Opening up, stretching the muscles, taking the pressure away and squeezing the jelly that's in your vertebral discs to the front part of your spine. Push away from the floor, lift up, create as much of a back bend as you can. Deep breaths. One more breath. And then when you come down, let it be slow, eyes are closed. Can you feel yourself pushing one vertebra towards the floor at a time? When you come to the lower ribs, lift your heels high off the floor and try to place the low back onto the floor before the top edge of the pelvis touches, really creating a nice deep stretch in that lower back. And let the pelvis touch the floor. Bring your knees into your chest. Take the strap off to the side. Let's go on to our tummies. So roll all the way over onto your tummy. Roll onto your tummy. We're going to do our locust posture. So come up into Sphinx and then reach your rib cage long. So pull your rib cage away from your pelvis so you create a little space in the midsection. Walk your feet closer to each other. Toes touch. Palms are on the floor. Soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. And then lengthen. Pull your rib cage away as you come all the way down. Let your forehead touch the floor. Let your arms go alongside your body. Now be as strong as you can in everything you do and only do what's appropriate for you. Like a torpedo, reach out your feet, reach out your fingertips, reach out the crown of your head, and on your next inhalation, lift away from the floor as strong and as high as you can. Feel that strength in your body. Lift up away from gravity or towards gravity, away from the floor. If you want to take your arms out to the side to add a little, you can. Or bending your elbows like a scarecrow. Try to lift the hands higher than the elbows. Deep breaths down to your belly. Reach out your feet, reach out your head. Lift. One more breath. And then go ahead and lower down. Take your hands, fold your hands, take your legs wide so that the toes are all the way to the corner of the mat. Let your forehead rest on the back of your hands and wiggle like crazy, really back and forth pretty crazy. Like a Jell-O mold, I want you to let your spine be like the fruit that's in a Jell-O mold, wiggling, 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 wiggling. So you settle your skeleton. You let your bones settle in the tissue. Try to be pretty soft with your body here. So you really are settling your spine. And then go ahead and stop. Let everything go. Feel the heaviness of your body against the floor. And breathe down to your belly. That'll help to release some of that tension in the low back. On your inhale, if you breathe down to your belly, point your tailbone and feel your tailbone moving down towards your feet. That'll help to bring a little relief into that low back. Take one more breath. And then bring your hand up so you can roll onto your side. Bring your hand onto the floor, pushing, not pulling, pushing, not pulling to come up. Go ahead and get your blanket, fold your blanket, The tighter you are, the higher up you need to be. So you could fold your blanket pretty high. And then we're gonna come to sit on our blanket. We're gonna need our block for this. So come and sit on your blanket and grab a hunk of flesh, take it back to expose the buttock bones. Feel the buttock bones, legs are straight. Take the block on the left side and take the block behind you. Bending the left leg, hold on to the left leg to get as tall as you can, stacking your spine as if it was 26 fine porcelain, beautiful teacups with a saucer in between each one. Find that nice alignment in all 26. Use the right hand to hold on to the left leg. Take the left hand on the floor behind you. Push down to get as tall as you can. Your teacups are stacked. And make sure your ears are not right next to your shoulders. So drop your shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale. Push your feet into the floor. Push into the block. And on the exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs. Rotate as far as you can comfortably to the left. Make sure you're growing right out of your pelvis and you're not tilting backwards. So be straight up and down. Let your legs help you get some length. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Strengthening our spine. The best way to strengthen your spine is with a nicely aligned spine and rotational force, pulling on the vertebra from many different angles. Breathe down to your belly. One more breath. Don't forget to smile. And then go ahead and unwind. So creating as much force as you can in your body to be pulling on your bones as strongly as you can. Take your block behind the right side, bend the right leg, hold on to that right leg to get as tall as you can, and then take your right hand on the block to help lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale, and then exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs. Active feet, active hand, grow out of your spine. Push your heart forward. Breathe deep down towards your belly. Nice long neck, nice long spine. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out of that. Let's take the blanket. We're going to do a twist where we're going to position the bottom of our body into a place. So now we're going to actually create force on the hip joint and on the spine at the same time. So I'll direct it according to the side that I'm sitting on. That'll be easier for me to direct you. Take your blanket. I put my blanket at an angle like this, so I can put one tushy cheek on it. I'm going to put my right tushy on the blanket, and then the right leg is going to bend, so the right heel comes underneath my left tushy cheek, and I'm going to adjust myself so I feel my left buttock bone pressing into my right ankle or my right heel. And if you cannot bend the leg, keep the right leg straight. Take the left leg up and over. So we've got some tension created here in the lower body, and the block is going to go on the left side. You're going to grab that left leg with the right hand, press that left hand into the floor. So grow right out of your pelvis. We're going to turn in the direction of the leg that's forward, or the bent knee leg. They're both bent, I know, but one's on top. All right, push down, get tall, inhale. And then as you exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs. Rotate deeply into this. Push your feet into the floor. Be as tall as you can be here. More force for the spine and also added force on the back of the hip, the top of the leg bone.
Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself out. We'll go to the other side. Move the blanket over so that it's the left buttock that's on the blanket. Left leg is straight. You bend the left leg. Bring the left foot underneath so that the right buttock, arrange yourself so you feel the right buttock, the bone of the buttock on the heel of the left leg. And then you take the right leg up and over. Block is on the right side. So press down with the block and hold on to that right leg so you can get nice and tall in your spine here. Inhale. As you exhale, it's the lower ribs, then the middle, and then the upper that rotate to the right. Breathe down to your belly. Lower your shoulders. Press your heart forward. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and unwind. Let your props be off to the side. To our knees. Come onto your hands. Let everything settle here. Let the body settle. And then let's come into a cow position, which is a back bend. This can be a nice relief after doing rotation in the spine. Push the heart down, push the heart towards the ground. Let the tailbone go up towards the wall behind you and the crown of the head. Feel a stretch in your belly here. If you want to try to wag your tail a little bit when you're here, make sure that feels appropriate for your body. And go ahead, bring yourself onto your knees. Letting your blood pressure calibrate, letting all the fluids calibrate in the circulatory system as you move through different positions. That's an important thing for fall prevention, is to set yourself up for success. Bring a leg forward. Flip your back toes under. Make sure that your ankle is forward of your knee. So don't have your foot too close to your body. It makes it very hard to come up. Have your foot away from your leg so that the ankle joint is forward of that knee joint. Take both hands on top of the thigh. Elbows are out to the side. You're going to inhale and then come forward and push yourself up. Let's prepare for the standing practice. Go ahead and get a chair. You may need a block as well. So come to your feet. Let's have your legs wide. Let's warm up the hips and the loading action, as we do a little challenge here. So make one waist short and the other waist short, kind of like a wide standing hula. So one hip comes up, the other hip comes up. Feel that stretch, how that stretches some of those pelvic muscles. Then bring your awareness to your feet. Can you come onto the edges of your feet, lifting your arches off, and then come down, come up. So stretching those ankles. And then bend your toes. So a prancing action to bend your toes. A lot of balance communication is from the feet to the brain. So we need to have the mobility. And the top of the feet, turn your foot under so that the toenails are touching. You're stretching the top of your foot. You may need to go back farther so you're not on the tips of your toes like a ballerina doing her toes. You're actually flattening the top of the foot on the floor. And do the same thing on the other side. So we want to set ourselves up for success to get that nice firm foundation in our feet so that we can really do as much stimulation in our joints as possible today with the practice. The first thing we're going to do is the tree posture, which is posture of balance. The feet are only hip distance apart, so not wide. They're hip distance apart. The big toes are close towards each other. You're going to take your hands on your waist, push yourself over to one foot and grab the floor with the foot. So really feel the toes pushing into the floor. Feel the pinky toe edge in the floor and lift that arch up. Come on to the opposite tippy toes. Knee goes out to the side. Bring that foot up in between the ankle and the knee joint. The arms can stay here, or you can come into a scarecrow arm position. Lift your heart, activate your pelvic floor, and zipper up your core. Embrace the wavering. Dancing is good. Let your ankles dance, let your body dance. And then let's go ahead and come out of that. Let's go to the other side. Notice where you are today. You're accepting wherever you are. Today may be a good balance day and it may not be, and that's okay. Lots of factors are a part of balance. Feet are hip distance. Push your body weight over to the other side. Grab the floor, activating the foot right away, lifting that arch off. Pinky toe edges touching. Come onto your tippy toes. Look straight ahead at something that does not move. Take your knee out to the side and bring your foot up in between the ankle joint and knee joint. Hand position either on your waist or up at the side, whatever feels appropriate for you. Nice and tall spine, nice and tall neck. And then activate that core, that strand of pearls right in the center of your body. And then let's go ahead and bring ourselves out of that. We're going to come into our warrior and our side angle. I'd like to recommend that we use a chair. So if you have your chair, take your feet wide. I want the chair there because I want you really wide, wider than usual. I'll turn this to this. Well, I guess I'll keep that. All right. Feet are really wide, toes are forward. Let's activate the pull up the toes. Turn the toes in one direction so the pinky toe edge is parallel to the floor. Pick up the heel, bring the heel behind you. So the chair is here because I want your hands on here when we load down into our joints. The deeper you go, the more you bend your knees, the more you bend your hip and knee, the more bone building stimulation you create in your body. So it's more about the deeper you go, the more you're going to do. Push that back foot into the floor, push the front foot into the floor, start to bend that front knee and lower down as far as you can. Keep your hands on your chair because I want your body to stay above your pelvis. I don't want it to go forward. Keep it right there. So push your hands into your chair so your spine can be long and then bend your lower body. Bring your arms up into your warrior two. Push your arms back, lower your shoulders. Active feet, draw that up into your pelvis and then find that stacked teacups. Find that activation of the core. Your strand of pearls, nice and supportive. Push your hands back and reach them away. So the shoulder blades are sliding towards each other to help support your spine. Push the back pinky toe edge of the foot into the floor. If you feel pretty strong, minimize your gaze. See if you could close your eyes. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring your arms down, unbend your legs. Let's go to the other side. Toes are pointing away from you, heel moves away. Chair is there. So start to put a little bit of a bend into your legs. Push that back pinky toe edge into the floor, activate that arch, bend that front knee, and let's lower down as deep as you can. Suck that front leg into the socket. So really draw that leg in, you're straight down, you're not forward with your body, and then bring your arms up, push the arms back, lift the heart up, activate from the feet, grab the floor with your feet, draw that power up into your pelvis, zipper up your belly or activate the strand of pearls, stack the teacups, lift your heart, reach your hands long, lower your shoulders, Strong warrior. Push that pinky toe edge of that back foot. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. Let's come into our side angle. Keep your legs nice and long here. So you're gonna let your toes point in one direction, your heel moves away. Activate and load up those joints. You're going to push away to come down into your warrior two. Go deep. The deeper you go, the more intense that is. Inhale, arms are up. Bend the front arm, come forward onto your side angle position. Deep, as deep as you can go. Activate your core and support your spine. One more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Let's go to the other side. Load up those joints. Come down into your warrior two. Arms are up. Bend the front arm. Lengthen your spine as you bend at that hip joint to come into your side angle position. Go deeper if you can. Deep breaths. Use the breath as power. Active feet. And then go ahead, bring yourself up. Let's come all the way up. Actually, take your feet, shake your feet. 2 more standing postures to go. That's the triangle and the twisted triangle. If you are going to, if you know that you use a block, get your block ready. Let your feet be really wide here. Take the front foot underneath the chair, back heel away from you. So straight legs. Draw the power of the energy from the floor, lift your arms up, then bend that front hip joint to come into your triangle posture. You could stay here, or if you could go lower, it's lower with a straight spine. Don't bend your spine to go lower. Lower is not better. Lower is for those that have more flexibility in their joints and in their muscles. Still lots of bone stimulation wherever you are. Push your feet into the floor. Let your hand be right above you or towards the back. So there's some trunk rotation, more pressure on the spine. Take one more breath. Keep your legs straight as you bring yourself back up. Let's go to the other side. The legs are straight. Pick up the toes. Toes point away from you. The back foot is away from you. Push into the floor. Draw that energy up into your body. Lift your hands. Reach away and bend at that front hip joint. The bend is at the hip, at the leg, as you come down into your triangle posture. Legs are straight. That front leg stays straight. Lots of compressive and tensile pressure on the hip joint. We're pulling, we're pushing. See if you could grow a little taller in your spine from your pelvis. So notice that front leg is forward and we're opening our body. Push your feet into the floor and bring yourself all the way up. We're going to come into our twisted triangle. So let's keep the chair there. You're going to bring a foot forward and a foot backwards. Whatever foot is forward is the direction you're going to look with your body. So you're rotating over. It's twisted triangle. Push your feet into the floor, toes are forward. You're keeping your throat open, bending at the hip joint to bring yourself forward and bring the arm across the body. So the leg that's in the front, it's the other arm that goes across the body, and rotate your body open. Push both feet into the floor. If you want to go down onto the block, if you have a stronger practice, this is the strongest posture in this series that we're doing today. Push your feet into the floor and lengthen your body out of that. Rotate, rotate, rotate. If you'd like to open up your arm, you can. Push your heart forward. You could squeeze your inner thighs towards each other to get more rotational force in your body. One more breath. Now to come out of this, take the tension out right away by bending that front leg. Keep your back nice and flat as you move to the other side. Just notice what you're experiencing already in your body. All right. Foot comes forward, other foot is back, toes are pointing forward, hands are on the waist, bending right where the legs attach to the body. That's where the flexion is occurring in the hip joint. So creating a lot of stress in that hip. Bring your hand onto the chair, push down and get long in your spine, push your feet into the floor, and then rotate and open up over that front leg. Make sure you're rotating over the front leg. And again, if you want to open the arm, you can open the arm. Push your feet into the floor. Draw that energy up into your spine. That twisting, torquing from the floor to the spine. Activate that pelvic floor. Engage the core. One more breath. And then go ahead and bend that front knee. So we do have one posture left. Lucky for us, it happens to be the yummy Shavasana, or posture of integration. So gather what you need to relax, to fully let go, and to let everything seep into your tissues. Get whatever you need to be as comfortable as possible. Make sure when you come down that you keep your spine nice and not rounded. And bring yourself, if you'd like to do one last joint settling, shaking your limbs, letting them sink, letting everything settle. And then go ahead and bring yourself into your last beautiful posture of the day, which is Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Let your awareness go up and down your body to feel what you're feeling, noticing what you notice. A lot of bone stimulation today. The bones are in there freaking out and looking for minerals and protein to lay down more tissue for you. Whatever it is you did today, that's what's happening. Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes. And slowly move so your knees come into your chest. You also stretched muscles and joint capsules, ligaments, fascia, created movement of fluids throughout your body. Right now, our spines are being bathed in the fluids that were compressed out of them when we were standing and squishing and pulling and pushing. So that last posture brings all the fluids back into the spine. Let's bring yourself onto your side, pushing away from the floor, coming up into a seated position. Feel that connection of your buttocks on the floor. Sit nice and tall, bring your hands to your chest, accepting whatever it is that you're able to do each day that you show up to your practice. We're going to close with the sound, a humming sound with lips together, the like the letter M. Let's prepare by exhaling. Deep inhale. We bow to each other. We bow to the practice with namaste. I know that my body definitely feels like I did a lot to it today in an appropriate manner. So I definitely went deeper and pulled more, pushed more, yet it feels appropriate. And that's the goal, is that whatever you do is appropriate for you, because slow and steady really does win the race. And the race is to get to live a big, happy life for our entire life. That's what our goal is. Oh, so that was 12 postures. That was the first series that Dr. Fishman did. And I recently read another article that came out about the proven results of Dr. Fishman's work on osteoporosis. And Dr. Hyman, I've mentioned this before, Dr. Hyman has had patients that have done nothing but yoga for their osteoporosis with proven results. Well, it's not studied in a study. It's studied in that person that did it and had a better DEXA scan score. And many of you that have been practicing with me for years have actually also had improved scores. So it does work. I think there's nothing like yoga to pull and push the bones to create bone building stimulation. So let's see, because I know there was some activity that I missed. Chachi, hello. Jamie, thank you. Cindy, you're great. Yes, thank you. Positive. Hopefully you guys take that. Why not? Okay, here's the choice. Positive or negative. What do you want to do? What are you going to do today? How are you going to look at it? Put on the rosy colored glasses and look at the good side of things. Carolyn, you're welcome. Susan, you're welcome. And great, Chachi. Love it. Love having you here. Shannon, good. Happy you feel good. You guys are off for an entire week without me alive. So you could watch recordings. Jeannie, good. Yes. And I was thinking of you when I was talking about all of our good things we do. And I was thinking about you sewing, Jeannie, and thinking about how that's the head forward, but it's a good activity. You don't want to stop. Yes, I will have a good week off. Thank you. Good, Lynn. And I thought about your neck as well. And when we strengthen the core and the pelvis in the way we did today, Lynn, and we use the feet to really bring that energy up, that's what helps us to hold the flour and sugar bag of our head on top of our spine. Let me see. Shannon, yes. Stevie, oh, Stevie, thank you. Carol, good. I will. Yes, because Carol's proof. Carol's bones are stronger, and Carol is not just someone that comes 2 days a week to practice. Carol does this all day, every day. And I was thinking of this morning to tell you guys. So what was I bending down to get? Oh, I was making my green smoothie today, and I was putting ground flax meal in the water because I like it to absorb the water before I drink it because it gets thick, and then I need to do my water. So as I'm in the cupboard, getting my flax meal because it was low and I was looking at where it's at, I went like this. I activated my strand of pearls. I bent down slowly. I grabbed out my flax meal and look at, I'm doing yoga while I'm making my green smoothie. Grabbed my flax meal, still loading up my legs and my tushy, take my flax meal, put it in. I'm like, look at, I need to record myself doing this because I'm making a green smoothie practicing yoga. And I know I've told you guys to brush your teeth in certain positions, but we do it all the time. I'm doing it all the time because I don't want to be broken again. I want to be able to live. Sharon, you're good. Thank you. No cats today. Kathy, you're welcome. Yes. So nice to see you all. I'm off and I'll see you when I see you. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like if you like. Enjoy your day.